Okay guys, let's take a look at this pound yen first of all. So the pound yen, I'm not sure if you can remember when we did one of these webinars before. We had this trend line in and we talked about 136.3 where it was going to come back to and come back down. Now it did do the 136.3 just so. Well, just below on here, on my other platform, it does show it hitting 136.3. But I was expecting this to come a lot before the big move down. So this isn't one that I capitalised on myself. Although this afternoon I did see that we've rejected the 200, and that would have been a very good place to enter short there at 135.9. But overall, I do see that chart before there was just the gold. That was on the 15 minutes where we had the test of the EMA and it pulled back down to about 14.03. Was the next signal to go long. Hourly wise, 4 hourly has just been mega, and I'm going to come back to gold in a minute once we've broken down what you guys have done, because this is good work. I do have a sort of a view that this is going to break to the upside. You know, we've sort of bottomed out. We haven't come back down near these extreme sort of lows. 136 seems to be a sort of a good area of interest, because if we can get above it and hold above the 200, then that should signal for the longs. I mean, until then, we might sort of be stuck in this range, 35.4 to 35.89. I'm going to call it below the 36. This sort of area here. Still keep a close eye on it for sort of going longs. But if we get anywhere near the top, you know, certainly worth trying to short it, doing the 1-to-1s, quick 20 pip stop, 20 pip target, coming back down, and then the same from you know, the extremes here. If we come below these areas or get anywhere near these areas, it's worth trying. You know, with traders, we don't know exactly what way it's going to go, but from looking at it, it might keep testing this range, and until it breaks out one way or another, we're not going to know to be going longs or shorts. So to keep an eye on it, let's have a look on the daily, because we had a bearish day yesterday. Okay, and today is sort of, we've just got a couple of wicks at the moment, back where we started. So let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what happens. It does look to be forming another sort of channel, which could mean a further break to the downside. But let's see. Let's see if we do get a bit of bullish momentum, especially if this dollar is going to weaken. We're going to see some strength in pound dollar, and consequently pound yen. Let's look at the dollar yen. So, you know, picture perfect really. You know, broke the daily 50 and we've been in a downtrend. Came up, tested it for the first time, and then today we've had a big pullback. So without even going into this, I can tell you now that we've had a break and retest of the 1 hour and heading towards the 4 hour 50, if not already hit it. So yeah, we'll certainly be heading towards that target. So yeah, break, retest, 1 hour 50 and all the way down. And as you rightly saw, Alessandro, without me even guessing, this is going to be between 0.382 and 0.618. So it went up to 0.5. You know, perfect play. That is a picture perfect initial breakout. So, you know, it should have been 187. So you should be sort of 30 pips in profit at the moment. And like I say, I would expect to see the sort of 4 hour 50 tested. But for the sake of another 10-15 pips, you know, you've got to sum up what works for you in terms of leaving the trade or not. You know, after today, I do expect to see more bearish momentum, especially with the sort of way interest rates are looking to be going. Daily 20 being the first stop, 108.276. I think that could be a safe target. And if we put in here a sort of channel, which if we see that break and then a retest, and then I'll see it coming all the way down to 107, sorry. So very likely we're going to see further dollar weakness. Let's have a look on the higher time frames. So on the weekly, yeah, you know, we've just been pulling back. You know, let's have a look. I bet that's at around 0.382. Look at that, almost pit perfect. 0.382 on the weekly lined up with the daily. that is a picture perfect trade. So I must admit, not one that I capitalised on today. As I did have a busy morning on the course, unfortunately, but well picked up, Alessandro. That is a very good trade. Okay, well, you know, it worked out. All I can say is that the idea of using the different time frames is just mainly that you're going to get a better picture for the slower time frames and the higher time frames, and if you can get it all to line up, then that's fantastic. That is, you know, that just means yes, yes, yes. And if you look at all these time frames, they have all lined up. But if you looked on that sort of just the test of the daily, you could have just had a bit more of a picture perfect position. So, I mean, if you what price exactly did you go short, Alessandro? Did you say here 108.92? So, you know, you got it pretty much at the top. So kudos on that. You know, you couldn't have got it much better than that anyway. But if you do use the sort of the hourly, you can see the break and the retest, and gives you that confirmation. Just in case on this 1 hour it didn't break below and then bounce back up, then we know that the trend is not changing. So it's just a way of, you've spotted a great trade, and it is just a way of reducing the losing trades. Not that you're going to see more winners because you're seeing the right things, but it reduces the amount you're going to lose, because if you see that it's broken, retested, and ended up below, that's a far surer thing that it's going to break down further. But like I say, if you went short, saw that it was holding around here, and then the next candle was an engulfing one, then it's just going to be carrying on going up, and it just stops. Looking at the 1 hour, I would have entered here 108.75. I would have been at the even number, wouldn't have done the 0.2. So I literally would have been here, where it hit that EMA, so which lined up with the 0.5. If I saw the price was slowing down around 108.689, I would still have entered. How I do these trades is I will always have my entry between sort of 0.382 and 618, wherever the EMA lines up with, and then I'll have my stop just above here, about 0.75. So if it breaks through that 0.618, it's a void trade. Simple as that. I have seen it in the past come back down from there, but that's just not how I trade. I like to stick to my rules, and therefore I would have been in, and that's it, you know. And to be honest, you know, near enough out. I mean, looking at this candle here at the moment, no. So when it comes to the entry, I would enter. So let's just say on this candle, it gives you the time on here, how long's left. So if it's coming up to the end, and I see that it's sort of slowing down, I would just get in before the close. I wouldn't wait for the start of the open. Not there's a lot in it or anything, but I'm more interested in that price where these numbers are, the fib numbers and the EMA, rather than the candle closure. It's just looking at it afterwards, you can see the candle close before, it's easy to turn around and say, oh yeah, it definitely was gone down. But at the time, you're not going to know. So I just will look and see if it's nearly end of candle, or you know, even if there's sort of 10 minutes left or so, it's slowing down around my prices. I'm going to get in now before it decides to shoot back down, because that candle could have well been ended up more wicky, and then the next one come down, and you could have missed an entry. So it's more about the price action, and looking for those fib levels and the EMAs. So do keep an eye for that kind of thing. But good work, Alessandro. Very good. Let's have a look what else is out there at present. Now, gold, let me come back to you quickly, because I wanted to illustrate something. On the daily, because someone asked me privately earlier on about these wild moves, and I said it's just odd because before, look at the range on gold, 100 pip candles, up and downs, different waves, not a lot going on. Then all of a sudden, end of May, we started getting this momentum, which was all to do with the interest rates. It was June when they first started saying they'd be open to cutting interest rates, and that is where the momentum has built up in gold. But look at these candles we're having. We're getting, even this one that's like, this one's the smallest. What do we have there? High 1421. That's still 100, still just over 100 pips on the smallest one. These big volume candles we're getting are great, and you can really capitalise on them. The thing that I wanted to point out was this sort of box range here. So what we can sometimes see happen is something like this, and let's just clone it. So we know at present price is doing something like this. I'm gonna put a third one in it because it's where price action has mainly been between. So we've got an extreme up here, but let's just say, for example's sake, we get anywhere down here, you can buy and come out. Come out when you're happy. I mean, I personally, if I bought in here, I'd be coming out at 1400. If I end up buying in here, I'll be coming out at this around 1424, which is probably where I'll look to exit at the moment. Still a nice 20% move if we reach those levels, which would be a nice point in the month. Just to note, guys, I am away from the 19th until the 29th of this month, so I will try and get as much of my trading done as I can beforehand, so I don't have to do it while I'm away and enjoy time with the family. But again, if we reach these prices, it's worth trying to short. You can have tight stops. You don't need to be holding it on for ages, because if you look here how it's reacted, it's either going to go through or it's not. And you've got a chance of then banking some more. And if it does sort of break through and it holds above, you look on these daily candles, if we get a volume breaking above, it hits up here, try the shorts, and again the longs from there. It's just another little way of dealing with box ranges. As I was asked a question earlier, and this volume is not likely going to stay in these ranges. It's very likely, in my opinion, that we're going to break out this 1440 and start heading up towards 1500. I mean, if we have a look on the weekly, we've had one week where we came down a bit, which I've already seen lines up with the fibs. I think I've done it from the start of the breakout, and again, it's that is all it is. I think just a pullback, and what you tend to see happen is when we get these pullback moves, it can move as much as the initial move, which was nearly 2000, 1285 to 1430. Let's just call it $1,500. 1,500 pips. Sorry. We could end up seeing it doing as much as that. It could be another really big move to the upside. Let's have a look on the monthly, because we haven't been playing above this 1360 level since 2014. So this is definitely a bull's market. The price is definitely pushing up, and if you to sort of put in your channel and stuff like that, it shows and it proves that the market is moving up. Now look what happened over here before, back in 2011, when we was at these prices. There was volume in the market. There was big moves again. This is what I'm expecting to continue with gold, and what I'm very much looking forward to seeing, and seeing us back at these levels. So I think that it's pretty easy to say there's not going to be much stopping, because if we look here where these are, you could put a little. Let's just do that. Let's just do it. Let's put a little line in. Yeah. Okay. Make that a little thinner. Okay, so we break these levels. There's not going to be much stopping it to 1500. And then after that, you know, sky's the limit. I mean, we could end up back up here at 1900s. I mean, it'll be phenomenal to see if we do. I'm a big fan of commodities in general, from not just for trading but from an asset point of view. Russia actually holds one of the biggest reserves, and they've been increasing dramatically in the last year or so, and they wouldn't be doing so if there wasn't going to be some kind of increase. But a lot of opportunity out there with gold from a trading perspective at the moment. And you know, like I say, fully expect us to see us somewhere back up here. And when we are, I'll be exiting and waiting for that break. You know, if we get that breakout, wait for the retest and then move on. I mean, I must admit, I expected to see 1360 realistically come into play. I mean, we always had it 1360 to 1380, if you remember, but you know, it didn't come below that sort of 1380 mark, and just carried on. But it does show a good base now for gold at 1380 and 1382 here. So you know, we can be bullish with our predictions. Any questions or anything to say on any of that, guys, before I move on to seeing what else is out there? Okay, great stuff. Now the Dow, as you know, we talked about the Dow. Let's extend this. That's it. We like that. So the Dow, as mentioned, we did expect, you know, we had a little push to the upside. We had a little break back down, test and come back down. I did trade down to 26,675, and I did start expecting to see it come back down again from there. I thought here was going to be the push back down, break below, and get moving. Because if this started moving, we could see, you know, 26,000 in again. That is a hell of a move. But with these interest rates and everything going on, that has obviously put a bit of a change in there. So you know, we could see new highs. We start getting breaks above 27,000. But something I want to note quickly here is to get an idea, even if you think the trade might go in a different way, I only like to go in a direction of where I've got the 20 EMA above the 50. Doesn't matter what time frame I'm on, because if I look on the daily, the 20 is above the 50. So in the bigger picture, momentum is bullish. You know, price action is moving up. It's not long been like that either. So you know, I expect it to be there for a fair cycle. And then if we go down the 4 hour, you've got the same thing. The 1 hour, sometimes the 1 hour differs. It's back above at the moment, but even though the 4 hour has been above the whole time, the 1 hour did break below, and you know, was respected. So you have to take that into account. But on the 30-minute, you get again more waves. So if on the higher time frames, you can see clearly that the 20 EMA is above the 50, then the short-term sentiment is bullish, and therefore you should be looking for trades to be going long, not trades to be going short. So if we come down to the 1 hour, much as you know, from a perspective, if you spot something, you know, you can take it, and we do with the other strategy, but just something to think about to eliminate losers. Not see something do more trades and the wrong trades, but it's eliminating them losers. If you're looking at something and you're thinking this is going long, this is going long, but you can see, you know, this EMA is below the other one, then the likelihood is it's not, and therefore, you know, you have to trade with the market, not the other way around. You wouldn't want to be shorting here. You might look off the candle and think, okay, we've got a short. And with the Dow, it's great because you can have those quick little shorts or those quick little longs. You can take quick pips out of the market, and similarly to gold at the moment, and the yen crosses, which is why I like to trade them. But at the same time, just bear in mind, especially if you're looking on the dailies. Let's just say you've identified a trade. Let's just say you look at this. This would have been a big red candle. Looking at it there, most people will be looking at it and thinking that's going to keep going down. It's going to keep going down. But realistically, it's still a bull market. The daily 20 is still above the daily 50, and so that should present opportunities for longs. Now, again, you can look at this and go, I'm going to have a short trade. But you just have to think about whatever way you decide to trade, having as many confluences to your plan as possible. And that is why when I'm using EMAs, when I'm using my sort of breakout strategy, I'm only interested in the 50. Like with the dollar yen, it was the break retest of the 1 hour, looking to go short. It's not a long-term trade per se, it's down to the 4 hour 50. From the 1 hour, because the sentiment is overall still bullish. If I look on the daily, it's below. So, here we can see, should be looking for the shorts. Instead of just thinking, I'm just looking on the 4 hour. I think this is just for longs. Much as you're going to have your targets, it is important to try and use different time frames and different confluence factors just to make sure you are giving yourself the best opportunity for success, importantly. But for the sake of that, it's a few minutes looking through some different charts. Just bear it in mind, and try and make it work for you within your trading. Any questions or anything on that before I start having to whiz through these charts? Okay. Alessandro, everything okay your end? You're still logged in? I'm aware you're on your mobile, so that's fine. I'm going to start going through, so just shout me if any questions or anything come up, guys. It's only 30. Money's just probably coming out and just shifting around. Still potentially holding there, so let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything particularly bullish about that. If we have another bullish day in Aussie CAD, it could give us an opportunity, but I'd probably prefer. So we're getting the break and retest here, but we're really close to that 200 EMA. So I'd like to see that broken first in an ideal world. And we're sort of rejecting this 4 hour 20. So this is what I was sort of saying about the different time frames. You could look at one and think, oh yes, from that 1 hour it looks bullish. Then you look on the higher ones and it could show something different. So yes, so that is the sort of strategy I started taking you through before, which I'm still working on, but it's the 15 minutes. The 15 minutes I was looking at, and it was the 7 over the 20 on the 15 minutes. So it's going to look a bit different to what I've got here because I don't have the 7 up, but yeah, effectively it was that really short burst, and what that was doing was giving me the clues when it was breaking out before, it actually was on the 1 hour, so I was using it to add into that, but it did seem quite effective. I must admit, I just haven't really finalised testing of that strategy. But you know, for everything I did, it certainly did work. It was working quite well, so I will pick it back up and feedback on it. So the Aussie yen, this is interesting because we've pulled back down to the daily 20, and then had a little bit of bullish momentum today. So we could start to see this moving on up and out. Would be nice to see. The only thing is everything's a little bit close. So we've had a sort of bit of a pullback. But yeah, everything's just a little bit too close for my liking. I think we just need a bit more definitive break. So if we get the break above 76, similar to pound yen, you know, we get that break above, then we can start looking for the longs. Aussie dollar, nice bullish day today, but in capped by those EMAs. All the Aussies are looking pretty similar. So euro US dollar, if it wasn't for the rates, I think, you know, I would be looking to just take this short from here. Could have a bit more to go, but you know, we could see this break to the upside now that there seems to be a bit of sentiment in the weaker dollar. We'll see in the next half an hour the minutes get released on what's been said, so we might see a shift in sentiment again. Let's see. So euro pound. So I did get a message about this earlier because someone was looking at it from this point of view. I think it was an hourly chart. So what's even been there like this? Yeah. So I was looking at this as in the top. Something like this. Something like this, where I was looking at it as being 3 touch to the top, and is it going to come all the way back down to the lower side? I mean, because I'm sort of favouring pound strength coming in a minute, I would say that could be likely, but we're really not seeing yet the breakdown on the lower time frames and therefore not the higher. So I would be more patient before entering any shorts if you're looking at that, but you know, I think it could come into play. Euro yen, you know, capped by the 200, come down and tested the 4 hour. This could well be a nice rejection to be going along with. But again, was that 200 so close? I'd rather just wait to see it. Yeah, you know, we're creeping our way up. I wanted this third touchdown here at 121, it didn't come. That's what I was waiting for. But you know, we have a sort of channel that's been being created here, but we might get a third touchdown, unless you class that as a third. I wouldn't personally, but it might, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if this is the move that breaks or not. Yeah, euros I just don't trade much of the euro, I must admit. Pound NZD, going weak. I mean, technically the pound is looking weak. I mean, I can't see on some pairs where the strength's going to come in. You know, I'm looking at things technically on the pound yen and the pound dollar and expecting some strength to come in. So it'd be nice to see what way it plays out in the pound chuff, which is pretty similar to the pound euro. We're seeing a bit of bottoming. Pound dollar. I wanted to touch base on pound dollar again briefly. So today we see this close out being perhaps bearish engulfing, then this could be good for some small longs. So again, let's look at the 1 hour. So we've had the break and a little pullback. Hasn't quite lined up. So let's see how the day finishes, because we might get another pullback, and if so, could be a good entry to go long. I'd just be looking to take it up here, quick 40 pips, just in case it doesn't break above there. Where's the 4 hour? Yeah, which that sort of lines up the 4 hour 50. So I'd be quite tempted with that one. If we can get another pullback, that'd be ideal. Yeah, dollar CAD's turning back around. Well, we should see. So we'll continue to do that. Big day for New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Again, mainly because it's going to be news driven. New Zealand dollar, yen. This is a nice looking candle. Rejected the 20. Let's see if we get a break and hold above the daily there. We haven't had the pullback, so it might come, but then we're going to have to play through the daily. It's not something I normally like doing. Let's see. Not everything is lining up on that though. There is better trades to take. CAD yen seems to be being capped by the 200 again. Chuff yen, yeah, this could be back down to 108, etc. It certainly is a big rejection. So we've just had the break and retest of this sort of 1 hour 50 and 200, and looking at that daily, it could certainly be 4 hours. It's just already hit the 4 hour. You know, if we can get a break below here, then you know, heading down to these lows would be, you know, the 109.2 to 108.2 would be the better trade, I think. Let's see how that progresses. KZD still just running its way up. Not one I particularly look at though. Gold just still doing its moves. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So again, another bearish engulfing day today. So we're technically, normally we would see further downside from this. The money could just be coming out of that into the down, into gold. Technically, again, a big breakdown. There isn't much time spent below the 200. So on the 1 hour, a potential trade could be that the break, and then when it comes back in, looking at going long again. But I don't trade it myself because the spreads are so high, and it's just not one that I like trading, and not when there's other opportunities out there. Interesting to see how the Dow and gold finish today, but fully expect just more continuation. But yeah, I think that was a very good catch on dollar yen today. Other than that, the sort of down gold, there isn't anything else that I've really seen of interest. The pound yen, as I say, it's come back down. We did have a break and retest the other day when I mentioned it to the group, up to 136, and it started holding above, and then it just broke back in. Unfortunately, otherwise it could have provided a good entry, but just wanting to see it staying above this 200 EMA. So again, if we start getting a breaking above and holding above 136, I'll certainly be looking for some longs on pound yen. Is there anything any of you guys want to ask based on what I've just gone through there? We're both happy with the analysis there. If you think of anything any other times as well, don't be afraid to either message me directly or message on the group. There's a good group of people on there that are everyone's starting to contribute, which is great. Yeah, by all means, the more you watch it, certainly the more it will sink in. So do feel free to do that. That's what the site and building it and recording it is all about. So do feel free to do so. I know I've sort of gone through a lot, and we've broken down quite a lot of strategy stuff this evening, a little bit more so than the normal, and it can take a little while to sink in. But I just wanted to touch on the sort of multi-time frame analysis and how powerful it can be. Oh, well, that's great. I'm very glad to hear that, and I can tell from your trades and what you're looking at as well that you're seeing things clearly, which is great. And I say clearly because it's a word that there can be a lot of noise on charts. There can be a hell of a lot of noise, so people can get confused and wrapped up in all different things going on. But like the sort of wedge that you put on the group earlier in gold is pretty perfect. That is great. Very clear bottom, very clear wedge. I'll replicate it here now just as a. Let's just get it. I'll do it something like this, wasn't it? Something like that, with the base in here, and we got the break, we got the retest, and we shot off. That was ideal. It's exactly what a lot of traders look for. But as I say, I think we are sort of in this box range, and now that it's broken out of that channel, very likely, as you can see here, we've had some touches on sort of 14.10, and there's going to be a little bit of resistance there. But realistically, this can very likely and very easily get back up to the highs. Especially, we keep this momentum coming in. It's not going to take it long. Just like the Dow at the moment, it's had its pullback. Very likely going to be heading back up near these tops. Near 27,000. So again, because of how I am, I will wait. I will wait to be out of my gold trade before I get into this as well, just because they both are moving similarly, and then if one's going to go wrong, then so's the other, and therefore I would just rather be in the one and wait. So we'll see how it plays out, but I'm sure further upside will come. And as I say, can't be back up at these highs. Look at Ripple. What a good day for Ripple. Silver. Silver broken above now. Silver sort of caught up with gold a little bit. There is actually a ratio out there that you can use that goes between gold and silver, and when they're either really far apart or really close, sometimes there's a move coming. That is something that Barclays used to teach, our desk traders and stuff like that, which It was just a sign in the markets of when the refineries and when there might be sales, big sales or big purchases. But it does tend to move pretty similarly. I'll get the name of it for you guys because it can sometimes be useful. But otherwise, not much else to report, guys.